Crickets. Crickets.
I'm not gagging. I mean, I'm gagging from, like, the smell.
Not this.
Do you feel lost sometimes? Does your brain not give you enough serotonin? Is your mind playing tricks on you and making you think that all your friends hate you? Well, I've got just the solution to your problem. Introducing Antonio's Life Lessons, your one-stop shop to solving every single problem in your entire life. But don't take it from me. Take it from the people whose lives have been forever changed by my words of wisdom.
You have changed my life forever. You have changed the world forever. I love you and respect you so much.
Wow, thanks Latrice Royale. If you would like to be as happy as Latrice, all you have to do is call the number 42069, I repeat, 42069, and with a single payment of all of your life savings, you'll finally be able to access every single one of our courses. Now that's what we call a Black Friday deal, am I right, ladies? I am so ridiculous. I am so fucking ridiculous, guys. Somebody put me on a leash. Somebody restrained me. Fun story time, by the way. When I was a child, my parents decided it would be an amazing idea to put me in a leash. Because apparently I was really into running, so they just had to restrain me, otherwise I would just like fucking run. I think one time I actually ran into the middle of the fucking road and my parents were just like freaking the fuck out. And that's when they decided to introduce me into the BDSM kind of culture, apparently. And now I'm gay. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. All of the mental illness, all the bullying, all the, identity crisis are all because of you. So thank you. First of all, before we get this video started, I have something to share with you guys. So I was chilling, just doing my thing, watching YouTube videos, and suddenly this fucking ad comes on. Imagine what the ad was for. Imagine. I mean, what could it be? It was an ad for STDs. STDs. Is it just me, or is Miss YouTube trying to come for me today? She's being a shady bitch, and I'm not appreciating this sort of behavior. And this ad was so fucking weird. So it was like these kind of Muppet type things, and they were like talking to a classroom about like STDs in German. What? YouTube, I would like some answers ASAP. Why do you think I need this kind of STD shade being thrown at me? I don't know. It's very upsetting to me and my homegirls, and hopefully we can get this sorted out, otherwise I might have to sue. So Susan, if you're watching this video right now, I will be expecting some type of monetary compensation for this kind of traumatizing shade being thrown at me. Fuck YouTube, I love you though. Please, algorithm, I would do anything, just love me, pick me.
So pick me. Choose me. Love me.
I think the fuck not, you trick ass bitch.
So all that being said, let's completely switch topics, because I mean, this has nothing to do with today's topic. Right now, it's Monday the 23rd of November. I'm making this video because I really wanted to just have a really honest talk. So today, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys just what I've kind of learned over the past 19 years and all the life lessons that I've either had to learn on my own or, were kind of thrust upon me, no pun intended, and hopefully I managed to help some of you guys in the process. There's a lot of heavy shit that I'm gonna talk about, but I just really wanted to have a true, very honest sort of conversation about this. But yeah, let's fucking get into it, cause I have a lot to talk about. There's pages, notes, and notes upon notes. Okay, the first thing I have written down is teaching people how to treat you. Really making clear to people how you would like to be treated is such an important thing to do. Because it's very easy for people to walk all over you and for people to feel like they can treat you however the fuck they want. But when people know that you don't take that kind of shit, they're gonna be less likely to like just fuck you over. And as a person who's been fucked over so many fucking times, it's just really a mechanism of defense that I've really had to build up and completely take seriously. Because if you slip up a little bit, it's just like such a slippery slope and you can just go down and suddenly everyone's just like not treating you the way you want to be treated. My next point kind of hits the same note, and it's just about befriending people who respect you just as much as you respect them. When there's any type of power imbalance or sort of respect imbalance in a relationship, it can create very complicated dynamics and it can lead to very, very toxic relationships. There's like a saying that says that you're the combination of the 5 people who you have like in your inner circle, and I think that's so fucking true, honestly, because when you're surrounded by positive energies and people that just like love you unconditionally and care about you so much, you just feel so much better. It can change your whole life. Like, it's crazy. It changes your outlook in yourself. Because I mean, we all know that we seek external validation and we a lot of times run after people who are kind of, you know, maybe not that into your personality or just don't vibe with you or whatever. And we kind of chase them because we want that validation. We want that person to be like, oh, you know what? I was wrong about you. Like, I actually fuck with you really hard. But, you know, that's all fun and games. But at the end of the day, are you happy chasing these kind of friendships? That's my question for you. Cause me personally, I'm gonna have to say no. Fuck that shit. Cut that shit out of my life ASAP. Just bye-bye. Bye. Never talk to me again. Goodbye. Another huge point that I really want to talk about is that you're really not the shit that you think you are. Let me clarify for you. So when I moved to Berlin, I was this, you know, cocky, naive 17-year-old who thought that like he could fucking do anything. I really thought I was that girl. I thought I was the one. I just thought that I could do whatever the fuck I wanted and that there would be no consequences for anything I did. Which, you know, actually turned out not to be true, surprisingly. What? I know. It might seem kind of self-evident, but when you're young, you just have this kind of fucking reckless attitude. I mean, I'm such an impulsive person. I can really just like make a decision like that. And while that's been good at some points in my life, it's also really fucked up my life in other situations. I mean, I know now, especially with the pandemic and everything that's happened in 2020, that it's all about fucking empathy, man. Like, it's all just about having empathy for other people and other experiences that might have nothing to do with your own. When you finally let go of your own ego a little bit, like, it really just helps you sort of grasp other people's experiences much better, I would say. Because you're not so self-involved and just lost in your own little world of, I'm the star of this show, I'm the main character. Babe, everyone's the fucking main character. Everyone has main character syndrome. It's just like a fact of human existence, you know, like we exist and we can only really perceive reality through our own mind. So obviously we're gonna be a little bit self-involved to some degree. My next point is, if you got toxic motherfuckers in your life, get a fucking pair of scissors and just fucking cut that ribbon. Go and I've personally dealt with my fair share of, you know, toxic people. And I feel like last year for me was like very much about confronting my relationships with people. Clearly, I wasn't surrounding myself with the nicest, most caring people on this planet. Yes, they were fun. They were really interesting people. That does not have anything to do with being toxic or not. Honestly, some of the most toxic people I've met were the most interesting and like the most well-spoken and the most riveting conversations I've ever had in my life. But unfortunately, if the relationship itself is just not sustainable and you feel like you're always in this weird limbo, one day it's hot, the other day it's cold, Miss Katy Perry, please don't sue me. Also, I feel like there's this issue where people who find themselves having to cut people out of their lives kind of blame themselves for the whole thing, and they're like, fuck man, I'm like ending this friendship, I'm like just cutting this person out, and it feels so ruthless, because I mean it kind of is, but you're just looking out for yourself, and sometimes you gotta do that. Like, you really got to just look out for your mental health. So if someone's really affecting you and they just put you through the fucking ringer, don't feel scared and don't feel, you know, ashamed or guilty because you have to cut them out. Like, boundaries are so important. Like right now in my friendships, I am so incredibly clear. If they do something that bothers me, if they text me and it's like kind of a weird vibe, there's some kind of weird undertones that I pick up, I'm immediately on top of it. Like, I really don't appreciate your tone. I don't appreciate what you said. I don't appreciate how you said it. Let's talk about this. Is there something else going on? Are we kind of annoyed at each other because of whatever? And just really cleaning up the friendship and not just sweeping shit under the rug. But yeah, like just fucking cut those people out of your life. This actually kind of segues perfectly into my next point, which is breaking the cycle of aggression. I feel like it's so easy as an adult to kind of fall into these like really fucked up cycles of replaying some sort of situation over and over again. For me, that happened with, you know, just exes, which, you know, I kind of got fucked over once. And I really liked this guy and he really broke my heart. Like, it really destroyed me for a while and it happened at like the worst time possible. I had to have my mind in the game that day just because I had such a big thing coming up. So instead of dealing with it in the moment, I kind of pushed it down and never really dealt with it for literally over a year, which turns out is kind of really not healthy. Who would have thought? So then after that whole situation, I kind of jumped into a sort of relationship too soon, I would say, and I clearly wasn't in the right state of mind and I wasn't ready to like be open with anyone because I just got burned so bad. And I basically ended up doing to this guy what the other guy had done to me, which is so like incredibly hard to say and like admit to myself, because I would never want anyone to like go through what I went through and like that feeling. I would never want to like make anyone hurt like that, and I really regret the way I treated this guy. Like, it's really something that I'm not proud of. Like, it's crazy, it's so fucking insane that like I, the person who is hurting, would cause that same pain upon someone else. So what I'm trying to really do now is just like actively catch myself when I'm acting in some sort of erratic way. I think Fiona Apple really puts this perfectly into words, where she said, and I quote, "Evil is a relay sport when the one who's burnt turns to pass the torch." That's like very 2020, very, you know, Gen Z, very hookup culture-y kind of environment that we're living in currently. Yeah, so basically just stop cosplaying as your ex-boyfriend and try to heal a little bit. We all need to heal. And, you know, a lot of healing needs to happen, especially in the gay community. Let me tell you that, sweetheart. There's a lot of healing to take place. The next point I want to touch on is that it's okay to have people in your life only temporarily. I'll give you guys an example within my own life. I was kind of forced, I mean, not forced, I kind of made that choice for myself, but like I moved to another country. So that automatically just forced me to kind of cut people out. Not because I really wanted to, but just because, you know, you just drift away from people, and that's okay. But, you know, I have so many friends that they're beautiful people and I really still do love them, but it just didn't work out. And as much as, you know, the shit that happened is never gonna be undone, we're never gonna go back to what we were, I still think there's value in those friendships. And in that time in my life, they were probably exactly what I needed. So just know that it's okay for people to come in and out of your life. This year basically has been like another fucking move of people for me. Like, all of my best friends are gone. They're all either back home or they're like moving somewhere else, or they're like, it's just a fucking clusterfuck. And, you know, like, it's fucked, man. And I love these people so much, but what can you do? Miss Rona is gonna do what Miss Rona wants to do, and we're just here watching, spectating, eating some popcorn, you know, and just watching. And that's all we can do for right now. Also, wear a fucking mask. Thank you. Now, the next point I have for you guys is it's okay to fuck up, man. It's so important to fuck up, I would even say. Fucking up has had such a huge impact in my life that I just like, I've come to value it. How many fucking life lessons have I learned from fucking up tremendously? Many. Let me tell you, a lot of fucking life lessons. For example, I give you guys a little story time. So basically, my smart ass kind of decided to sign this contract for an apartment when, you know, maybe I didn't read through it properly. I kind of got into some shady dealings and I almost got sued by my landlord, which, you know, was super fun. Loved it. It was like the most fun I've ever had in my life. Love my landlord. He was such a sweet guy. So racist. Wow. Such a racist. But yeah, I basically kind of signed away my soul to the devil. And I was surprised when the devil came knocking, like, hello, hi, can I speak to the manager? Hello. And they came knocking on my door, pounding, and she said, wow, I'm mixing a lot of pronouns here. Hi, you're gonna have to renovate the whole apartment. Yes, it was in the agreement that you signed that you would renovate the entire apartment. Congratulations. I kind of ended up finding out that, you know, manual labor really isn't my thing. It never has been, it's never going to be. And me trying to paint an entire apartment, remove all the wallpaper, put new wallpaper, oh god, I'm getting fucking stressed just thinking about it. Whatever, you get the gist of the story. But, you know, that was probably the most stressful time of my life. Not knowing if I was gonna be able to live somewhere, like, feeling this close to like not having a place to stay. It was scary as fuck, man. It was really scary. And I'll let you know, by the way, I spent all of my savings renovating that shitty ass apartment that I had to leave at the end of 6 months. And that really taught me a fucking lesson. Never to sign a contract before you read it a million fucking times. Oh my god, I cannot insist on this enough. Read that shit. Oh, I cannot stress this enough. But yeah, that was like a really stressful, horrible time in my life where I was like on the verge of a mental breakdown every other day, which was, you know, incredible. Would definitely not recommend. So yeah, like fuck up, of course. Yeah, fuck up. Don't fuck up too hard because you might actually fuck yourself. But if you do fuck up and you kind of manage to recover somehow, take that lesson and fucking shove it in your head and never let it go. Anyway, so my next point, you would think is kind of self-explanatory, but you'd be surprised. And the point is, your parents are people. What the fuck? It took me a really long time to reach this conclusion. I've had, you know, a pretty turbulent relationship with my parents. Much better now, but back in the day it was not very good. When you're growing up, it's so easy to just vilify your parents. I mean, sometimes they do deserve it. I'm not gonna lie. There has been some horrible things said to me that have stuck with me that then I confront my parents about it and they're like, what? I didn't say that ever. I was like, babe, I have trauma from it, like emotional trauma. So traumatic, in fact, that I can recite exactly what you said word for word. So stop pretending to be a fool and just like be honest with me, you know? But recently, as I've kind of grown up a bit more and as things have kind of calmed down with my parents, I think it's all just about realizing that as much as they hurt you, at the end of the day, they were just like trying their best. Their best might have been terrible, it might have been horrible, it might have been traumatic, but people aren't fucking perfect. And that's just like the human condition. So there's really not much we can do about that. What I would recommend is to really sit down with them and really try to like explain to them your points of view, how you're thinking of shit, even if they don't fully understand it. At least you're showing them that you want to have an open dialogue, which for me did not begin until very recently. Because I mean, my parents didn't know shit about me growing up. Like, being fully honest, I didn't share anything with my parents. Like, they didn't know anything about my life. All they knew was school, and that's about it, really. And that's sad. Yeah, but like they weren't ready. They wouldn't have respected it, and whenever I did try, they didn't respect it. So, you know, just try to keep an open mind and always remember that they're people at the end of the day, just like everyone else. They're probably just doing what they think is right, which might be wrong, but you know, that's fucking life, isn't it? Right, wrong, who fucking knows? Who fucking knows? Anyway, so now my next life lesson is something that like took me a while to really come to terms with. And the lesson is that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's scary as fuck. It's terrifying. It's absolutely fucking terrifying, but it's fucking beautiful also. I think a lot of us tend to just shut ourselves off from opening up because we've been burned before by people that we thought we could trust. But at some point I just realized that like I could not go on living like that. Not trusting anyone, not being vulnerable, not being open with anyone. It just like builds up so much tension inside and just like creates this horrible dynamic with yourself, fighting yourself about what you want to portray, how you want to be perceived, like all of these things, and like always sort of thinking of how you appear from the outside or from the other person's point of view, which can be very psychotic. And you know, I'm psychotic enough as is. I don't need that bullshit in my life, okay? No, thank you. So I just really wanted to say that, like, as scary as it is to be vulnerable, it's such an incredible thing to be able to open up to someone else. And even if they end up hurting you really bad, the fact that you had the guts to open up to someone else just speaks to your character. If that other person doesn't respect the fact that you opened up to them and just like fucking shits on your entire life, you're not the person in the wrong for opening up. Like, opening up is amazing. So never stop yourself from doing that. I'm actually gonna read you guys what I wrote last night when I was thinking about this. I basically literally had like a chat with myself. I just like talked alone for an hour. Mental illness, innit? Mental illness. But this is what I wrote. Being vulnerable with someone is a beautiful thing. Even if they end up hurting you, the mere fact that you had the courage to love someone is beautiful and should not be repressed. That's that on that, right? That's on a period. Now the next point is something that I think we all need to be reminded of, which is you don't need to have everything figured out at 20 years old. 20, 25, like 30, you don't need to have everything figured out. I think I forget sometimes that I'm a fucking 19-year-old. Yeah, I've been through a lot of shit, you know, the trauma kind of forced me to grow up, but at the same time, bitch, I have grown so much. Like, me 2 years ago and me now, like, it's worlds apart, and I just forget that, like, I'm 19, I have so many more years to figure shit out, and honestly, I don't need to be rushing shit right now. I feel like society has kind of like put this bug in our fucking brains that we need to have ourselves figured out like as soon as you're 18 or something, which is so incredibly not real. It's so unrealistic. And the way I think about it is like, I've grown so fucking much in these 2 years. So like, imagine what 10 years is like. Imagine like what 20 years is like. Imagine 50 years. Like, it's impossible to picture. I just have to stop pressuring myself into thinking I need to fucking have everything figured out, because I don't fucking need to. My next little tip to you is just be unapologetically yourself. I know you've heard this a million fucking times. Everyone said this. There can be 100 people in a room, Lady Gaga tease. But honestly, it holds up. Being unapologetically yourself is gonna lead you to where you wanna be in life. It's not like pretending to do anything and like pretending to be something that you're not. That's gonna get you to the place that you wanna be in. I feel like for me, I've always like strived to kind of, you know, be myself and just like not give a fuck what anyone else thinks. Which honestly really is a habit. Like, just stop giving a fuck what anyone thinks. It's so much better. Trust. And I'm not saying that I'm like some perfect person who never thinks about whatever. Obviously, we all have moments of insecurity. We're human after all. But if you always strive to stay true to yourself, I can promise you that whatever you want is gonna happen for you, because you're just doing what you want to do genuinely and like with full passion and with all your heart, and that's gonna take you places. And that's it. I'm done. I have nothing else to give you. My brain is currently empty. Y'all hear that? Empty. I sincerely hope that you guys got something out of this. I know I kind of went on and on and on and on, but you know, it's my birthday, okay? It's my fucking birthday. Leave me alone, bitches. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please do like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram and Twitter, okay? Because I do a lot of shit on there. A lot of funny shit, a lot of questionable shit, but you already knew that. You watched this video, you know my brain. Something is not clicking. Anyway, I'll see you bitches next week, and until then, stay safe, okay? Okay. Bye. Bye. I'm dying on my birthday, not this.